for me, it's finding myself. I mean, I don't know how many people on this call are doing that right now. When I first started my whole process of getting my license, you gotta go back to pre-COVID. Like COVID started that March. I believe I started my studying in December. So every day for 4 hours, I'd get up at 6 o'clock from Hayward, drive to Richmond because I was working at Amazon at the time, and just literally lost everything. My production company, a bunch of stuff. I mean, like talk about low of lows. Building myself back up as an adult man. I don't know how many men are on here. How difficult that could be when you hit rock bottom. You know what I mean? From the standpoint where you got to move back in home, like when you're kind of like at the pivotal of getting to your branch and what you wanted to do, and then having to start all over. Those 4 hours every day before work, and then 2 hours afterwards, and then 2 years after just waiting to get the license. So that was it. And then the whole first year being on TEAMFAST with a big fat zero, I learned more about myself in that whole year than I could ever in my whole adult life. Starting stuff and not finishing it, like I'd have so many degrees. We have my master right now if I would have studied stuff, but I have that personality where I just want to learn, and then I learn so much, and then I kind of pass it off and go on to the next thing. And I thought I was going to do that with real estate because I literally just got in for it, the money and to save my family at the time. Uh, and I didn't think that where I'd be at where I'm at today, being there, showing up all the time. Like I don't know who could go a whole year. I know there's probably some people on this team with getting zeros, and I'm talking about I was active. I'm showing 60, 70 houses to clients. You know what I mean? Like I'm being a real active person, but just not putting nothing on the scoreboard. So I learned a lot about myself that no matter what, I can push through, no matter how hard the cards are stacked against me, that as long as I get the drive and determination, like I know that I have, and me and all of us have on this phone call, that you could do it. You got to set yourself small off at goals. First, it was like, yeah, I'm sitting there listening to Kenny, Elias, and them, and the intake, like, competition in me, I'm going to be number one on everything. Month go by, 3 months go by, 6 months, a year to be like, damn, like seeing all my peers, seeing some of you like getting into contract. I'm sitting there like, fuck, it's just not for me. But to where I'm at now, I mean, just stick with it. I'll leave you with this. My coach, I remember.
Otis, let me pause you for a quick second. When you think about let's call it the Otis White model, the Otis White model of growth, right? When you think about what phase one would be of your growth that you've had, right? Like I heard that you made some sacrifices, that you did some things early on in that first phase. Like when you look at your model, and here's what I want: when you're done working out, bro, I want you to write out this model. And I want you to be able to articulate what the Otis White model of growth has been. And I want you to apply that for the next phase of your life. What would you call phase one of your model?
I would call it figuring it out. Because I was all over the fucking place. I'm trying to do open houses. I'm trying to cold call. I'm trying to door knock. I remember going out with Cortez more than a couple of times knocking on doors. I remember getting with Chris and him strategizing over stuff, going to offices. Um, and I stood true to what I wanted to do and how I wanted to do things. So I think that in any format in real estate for anybody, just find out what works for you. I found out that mine is the non-traditional approach way, the Otis White way, to just figure out what works for him and then stick to it. Because you can always implement things into it afterwards. And that's what I'm doing now. I'm starting to look into getting open houses at the beginning of January, because that's what I'm gonna start doing and get back into cold calling and everything, and not just staying on referrals and online leads and partnering. So I know when I open up leg 2, 3, and 4, and Elias, you already seen what my marketing and my shit is doing as far as how I'm building and branding with the type of juggernauts that I'm doing. So just trying to stick to it in the model of, staying focused and still looking at what works for me, but implementing new things into that as well.